Hey everyone, this is Nitro. In this video, I'm going to do the 5th and final challenge battle of the glorious Annals of Lodoss event, which is called Flames of the Frozen Sky. So let's begin. So, let's talk about this battle, because this battle is actually really easy if you know what you're doing, but it can be very difficult if you don't, okay? So, there is Parn and Deedlit on this battle, and you can describe this fight as a game of musical chairs, because Parn has Flame Force, where after taking action, afflicts all enemies within attack range with the effect physical damage increased by 50% and magic damage is decreased by 50%. Lasts 1 turn, cannot be dispelled, ignores immunity. Deedlit has pretty much the opposite. Frost Force. After taking action, afflicts all enemies within attack range with the effect magic damage taken is increased by 50%, physical damage taken is decreased by 50%. Lasts 1 turn, cannot be dispelled, ignores immunity. Okay. So basically, because Parn does physical damage and Deedlit does magic damage, you're going to rotate characters back and forth to attack. Right. Other things to note though is about Parn. He has all these immunities, not going to read through them, but there is this effect as well. If there are no enemies within attack range when taking an action, casts Flame Realm, deals 2 times damage to all enemies on the battlefield. And finally, after Deedlit is defeated, damage dealt when actively attacking is increased by 50%. Deedlit also has pretty much the exact same thing, right? She does, her AoE skill is called Frigid Sky, 2 times damage to all enemies on the battlefield, and after Parn is defeated, damage dealt by active attacks is increased by 50% again. So basically you just want to kill them both on the exact same turn, or else one of them is going to get 50% damage increase and may wipe out your characters. So that's the second thing. Third thing, and arguably one of the most important, is the Holy Fire buff. Okay, Parn's Holy Fire, it's just an attack that does 1.5 times damage to you, but it afflicts the target with Spark. The Spark effect is that after the character takes action, it deals damage equals to 30% of max hit points to you and friendly unit within 1 ring of you. It can dispel the Frostbite effect. That's the most important part. It can dispel the Frostbite effect, and it lasts 3 turns. Cannot be dispelled, ignores the immunities. In other words, that Frostbite effect dispel is very important because Deedlit's Frost Force has this effect. When actively dealing damage to an enemy, they are afflicted with Frostbite, permanently frozen after 2 turns, and they lose 30% of max hit points every turn. And healing received deals damage instead. Cannot be dispelled, ignores immunity. In other words, the character you want to get frostbitten has to basically deal damage to your other characters who got frostbite. So, sorry, let me take that back. I'm not sure if I said that right. The character who got affected by Spark, by Holy Flame, the Holy Fire skill, needs to do fixed damage to the characters who got frostbitten so that they never get frozen. Okay? So other than that, your characters will be just endlessly moving back and forth, dealing damage to these two until they're nearly dead, and then you wipe them both out in 1 turn, and you're done. Okay? You have 15 turns to do so. So this battle is super friendly in terms of the characters you can bring as a result, but you primarily want to focus, if possible, on damage dealers. So here I have 5 damage dealers with Tiaris. Okay. I decided to use a lot of damage dealers who can self-heal, but it just helps in my opinion. I also recommend, if possible, that you bring 1 faction, because it's easier that way, right? If all your characters are of 1 faction, you only need 1 faction buffer. If you can't though, like me, bringing 2 factions is okay. So you see here, I have Bernhardt with Empire faction buff, then at.when, then Leon. So that's the Empire side. And then the other 3 is Luna with faction buff, then Yulia, then Tiaris. Okay. And the very final thing I should mention is Deedlit's skills. Bone Cutter is an AoE attack that only has... It has 3 range, but it only has a 2 block radius. Okay, so it doesn't hit. It hits 0.45 times AoE damage. So in other words, let's say it targets at.when, right? At.when is 1 tile, then 2 tiles is just where Bernhardt, Leon, and Yulia are. It would not hit Luna and Tiaris in that case. So the range is garbage, really. As long as you attack from the 4 directions, like surround the characters, the AoE won't touch anyone. It'll just hit a single target. Ice Explosion, though, is surprisingly annoying. Okay, Ice Explosion attacks multiple enemies within the span, so it targets self, and it's a 2-ring attack. Okay, so 2 rings means this is the first ring, the second ring is this, so it has the range of Leonhard's Fusion Dark Emperor sword. Okay, a pretty wide square. The bigger problem of this skill is that this skill will change the positioning of an enemy. Okay, so that is a bit of a luck element, because if you're going to want multiple characters in range for Ice Explosion, because if it, let's say you get bad luck, if your character gets moved into one of the corner tiles, okay, those 4 corner tiles, if they're moved into the corner tiles, then suddenly Deedlit has nobody in range of her, and then she's going to use the Frigid Skies skill. So for safety purposes, you're going to want 2 characters in range pretty much every turn against Deedlit. That will minimize the chance of you getting teleported, of both characters getting teleported into both, into those outside tiles, right? If one of them is teleported outside, you're still fine. If both of them are teleported outside, then yeah, you're probably going to lose and you're going to have to redo the run. But that's a very, very low chance. Okay, so that covers everything about this battle at this point, okay? Yeah. If you use one character though, there is actually a very high chance of that occurring with Ice Explosion, as you'll see here. So now Luna is the one who will do damage to my characters. Ooh, and interesting! That was just incredibly bad luck. I've never had that happen before, where one of my characters was teleported out of Deedlit's range. Alright, so that's it, and so I'm going to begin the battle at this point to demonstrate how to clear it. So, here we go. Alright, so to start this battle off, what I'm going to do is, on the first turn, both Parn and Deedlit have this buff where damage dealt to them is decreased by 50%. So you're not going to hit the enemies very hard. Important thing to note there. So why don't I just simply move Bernhardt over here and have him faction buff to start. And then I'm just going to have Tiaris, maybe attack blessing, let's say Yulia. Right? Now, one thing I should mention is Parn has the infantry soldiers, so I'm going to want my Lancer Elwyn to choose to attack Puritas initially. And Leon has Angel Soldiers, which are weak to the Elf Masters of Deedlit, so I'm going to want to avoid her too. So it kind of sets which characters go where, right? So why don't I have Leon move in and attack Parn to start. Might as well use the smash skill. And then turn. Right. Elwyn is going to shift over. And might as well use the roar skill to decrease the damage Deedlit can do. Next up, let's have Yulia move over to the left and Godly Menace to start. Wiping out more soldiers, primarily. And then finally, Luna. Well, I'm just gonna have Luna move to the side of Deedlit, activate Wind God Realm, buffing up Elwyn, and faction buffing. And this is very much a game of musical chairs. So. Ice Explosion is used, hits my two characters, and they get randomly teleported. So, having two characters pretty much makes it highly unlikely that someone is moved out of range to the point where there's no one in range so that she would activate her 2 times damage to all enemies. So that's why I placed Luna on that side. So now, these two characters though, now need to take some fixed damage from Bernhardt. So that's what I'm gonna do. So why don't I start by moving Elwyn over to the left and attacking part, or no, I need the soldiers dead first, right? So let's start actually with Luna moving over to the left and attacking part. Okay, and she can just end her turn here. Next up is I'm going to shift Yulia over to the right side now and have Yulia attack Diglett. Right? Need to kill off these elf masters. Looks good. So let's now have Elwyn shift over and strike Parn on this side. So since I need both of these guys to take some fixed damage and whatnot, I might as well just have Bernhardt position himself here. Just thinking. Okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to have Elwyn run over to this side and attack Diglett with Assault. So now all those archers are gone. And I'm going to have Bernhardt here attack Parn. The main goal is to do the fixed damage to these two. Right? So now they don't have Frostbite anymore. And Tiaris will just stay here and mass heal the whole group so that they're healthy again. So now Parn uses Energy Slash on the character at the top, which in my case is Tiaris. Bone Cutter is used by Diglett. A 2-block AoE doesn't really do much. So now the battle is about rotating yet again. So let's shift over to that side, right? Because they now have that, they now have the buff, right? Of taking reduced magic damage and increased physical damage. So Elwyn shifts over to strike. For example, Leon shifts over to strike on this side. And turn. I'm gonna leave Bernhardt here because he's primarily the buff for... He buffs up my characters. So... Or sorry, he removes Frostbite from my characters. So let's have Luna wrap over and strike Diglett. I'm actually going to have Yulia move in and attack. I'm just thinking there. Should I heal Yulia first? Because that is an option. I think I can go without it because she has Godly Menace. So let's just have Yulia attack. Godly Menace heal. Right? And she took no damage at all, basically. Because of Attack Blessing and Godly Menace. So that worked out well. So Bernhardt can just continue to stay here and melee attack. These Dark Guards are actually absorbing all the damage. You see. And the Spark will remove the Frostbite. And then finally, Tiaris is going to come down and choose to heal up my characters. And Healing Light them. So, Yulia gets hit. Perfectly fine. Luna gets hit. Also perfectly fine. And let's rotate yet again. So, I'll start with Yulia. Because she can provide healing to a lot of my other characters, like so. And then rotate to the other side again. So Luna should definitely be placed here. Or actually, let's have Leon run to the other side first. And then Elwyn shifts over to this side. Actually, no. I want to minimize the amount of fixed damage I actually take. That's what I'm considering right now. So Luna first. Yes. Luna will attack first. Probably to here. Then Bernhardt will attack to remove the frostbite from Luna. And then Elwyn will follow up. Oh, he doesn't have enough mobility. Darn. Alright, I'll just place Elwyn here then, whatever. That was my mistake. And now mass heal with Tiaris. So Bernhardt, once again, tanking the hit from Parn. And the battle just continues. Right. So now this turn is a turn of faction buffing, right? So I'm just taking a look. Let's see. Yulia should have 8 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm just trying to figure out how to position my characters accordingly. So you know what? Let's just start with Elwyn charging over to the other side and using Roar. And then Luna is going to run to the other side and just faction buff. And next, Leon is going to run to that side and assault. Right. Let's just move Leon over like this and have Bernhardt shift up and faction buff now. Doing fixed damage to my Leon to remove the frostbite while not damaging Tiaris. And then that way Yulia can come over to this side now and attack. And start healing up. And finally Tiaris. You know what? Let's just have her attack blessing Yulia. Oh, interesting. Yulia gets attacked. So I guess the tile Yulia is on is the tile that gets attacked. Interesting. In any case, AoE assault from Diglett, random teleportation, but the thing is, one of them they're actually both in range of Diglett, so she didn't launch her Frigid Sky. So, rotate again to the other side again. So Leon attack and then turn, right? Yulia attack and then turn and provide healing to characters so that I can attack at full hit points ideally. Luna will just attack. Elwyn, come over and attack. And Bernhardt is going to just stay here, do some damage, right? And then heal up the other two. And then Tiaris will just mass heal again. Energy Slash pushes Bernhardt up. And so, let's start with at.when moving over to strike that side again. And Bernhardt is going to come down, obviously, after Yulia. So I'm going to have Yulia run over and Godly Menace her. That provides all the healing I need. Right. So Luna will now wrap over, activate Wind God Realm, and strike Deedling. So I'm going to have to focus a bit more on Deedlit and a bit less on Parn right now. That's okay. Just going to place Bernhardt here. I might as well have him attack first. Spark, AoE damage. And then Leon is going to attack Parn. And turn. And finally Tiaris is going to heal up Bernhardt. There we go. Once again, Bernhardt is the one debuffed. So the rotation continues. So back to Yulia on the other side. Leon. And turn. at.when was attacked, so he needs to strike. And I think I'm going to have to start leaving Parn alone for now. I actually don't want to kill him, right? And he's at 21k hit points. So we'll wrap around, but we're not attacking anymore. And let's attack Blessing Luna in this case. And just end turn with Bernhardt. Alright. So, back to the other side. And I'll start with Luna. And follow up with at.when. And on this side, it's mainly just to not do damage to Parn at this time. So I'm just going to shift characters over to this side with no intention of actually attacking. But I'll mass heal, I guess. And faction buff with Burn. Bone Cutter. So let's take a look at their hit points values right now. 22, 5,000. Both sides are very killable. So let's go for it. Yulia first, as always. And then Leon with the smash. And turn. I think I can actually kill them both this turn, so I'm absolutely committing in. All in. So Luna first. To wipe out Parn. And then I'm just going to buff Bernhardt for additional damage. And heal Bernhardt. Right. And then Bernhardt is going to run over here and attack. And finish off Demon. There you go. Actually, one of the easier battles, for sure. As long as you can have a character that constantly gets hit by Parn and can be left on that side. And there you have it. And the other thing to note is, honestly speaking, my infantry training ground is like garbage. Okay? There's 40% hit point increase, 42% defense and magic defense, 48% attack. The Dark Guards themselves are only at level 6. Okay? And I suppose the other things that might matter is, right, Overrun Tactics at level 7. So 13% attack and defense increase. Emergency Treatment is at level 7. And is there anything else that increases defense? That's not a range attack. That's increased damage. So yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, neither of these are even at level 10. So it says a lot that Bernhardt had absolutely no issue surviving. You don't have to use Bernhardt as your tank on the left side. You can very easily use Landius, I think, or any other tank. You know, as long as the tank takes the hits from Parn and keeps getting the buff effect. So it's really up to you. You know, any tank that tanks the hits and gets that buff and will just keep providing stat boosts to, or starts removing the frostbite on that side. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you found this video useful. Nitro out.